Brian Rabacs here alongside Maddie Bimonte, recapping the first game of the Subway Series in 2023, where the Yankees took this one over the Mets by a score of 7-6. And Maddie, always exciting with the Subway Series coming into town, and things got going early. Giancarlo Stanton homers in the first inning for the Yankees, his 24th career home run at Citi Field. That's the most out of any opposing player. And then Nimmo followed up in the bottom of the first with a home run as well.
Nimmo has been absolutely incredible in that leadoff spot. He has 8 leadoff home runs this year, an absolutely great number. But Nimmo later on in the game would talk about his worst moment, which would be a drop that he had that caused, in his eyes, the one-run game to be falling in the favor of the Yankees.
The biggest thing for me is that it just shouldn't happen. So I made a mistake and we lost the game because of it. And that is what happens at the big league level.
Yankees found themselves in a 5-1 hole after 3 innings of play. Going into the fourth, it looked like they were going to have a tough task against Max Scherzer when they rattled off a bunch of hits in the inning. DJ LeMahieu with a home run. And then all in all, 5 runs in that fourth inning. And then it ended up as a tough outing for Max Scherzer on the night.
Max Scherzer just hasn't been himself lately. He had a couple of good starts in his past games, and then he hit Atlanta, and Atlanta was just a major setback for him. He gave up 5 runs there, and then today he talked about his hanging slider. That was the big problem for him. And Buck Showalter has just said that there is a level of command that is just not there with that pitch, and he doesn't know exactly. It was uncharacteristic of him, but they know what he's capable of. And many Mets fans have been really slighted by the way Max Scherzer has pitched over this past season. His age playing a factor, the pitches being inconsistent, and it's been a real talking point on whether or not they think Max Scherzer is really going to be that dominant guy we have been used to.
On the other end, Luis Severino got the start for the Yankees. He had another lackluster performance, if you want to call it that. 4 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, with 3 walks and a hit by pitch. So he struggled once again. His velocity wasn't the problem today. It was actually his location, leaving a lot of balls in the middle of the plate, and then having a lack of command per se. So he chalks up another poor outing. But the Yankees bullpen got the job done. They were able to keep the game where it was, with the Yankees having a 1-run lead in the late innings. And particularly, Clay Holmes did a great job in that 8th inning, coming in, striking out Lindor and Marte. His last 19 appearances have been really spectacular. He's done a great job. 0.47 ERA in those appearances, but those strikeouts of Lindor and Marte, those were huge, Maddie.
They were really huge, and Lindor and Marte really had no answers for them. They chalked it up to the efficiency of Clay Holmes really being there and really being a dominant factor. Lindor just swung too early, and at the end of the day, he just couldn't get the job done for the Mets. But on the Mets side in the bullpen, there was a lot of weird happenings today. Aside from a great outing from Jeff Brigham, who has gone 100% in stranding the runners that he has taken on in his pitching, he has been absolutely incredible for them. Drew Smith tried to enter the game today to be immediately sent out via an ejection due to a sticky substance. And we spoke with Drew Smith after the game, and he gave his thoughts on the sticky substance that he dealt with today.
Really surprised because I haven't done anything different all year. Sweat and rosin, like, I don't know what else to say. Nothing changed. And it's just, I think the process is so arbitrary. It can change from one crew to the other. And I think that's the main issue. The MLB guy in the tunnel, I kind of forced him to feel my hands as I walked in. I just grabbed him like this and pulled, and he actually laughed and said there was nothing there. So I don't really know what else to do.
I think the thing that Drew Smith was really alluding to in what he was saying was that it's a really confusing situation for pitchers and teams as a whole as to what's too sticky, what's not. So they'd like the MLB to address that. They're going to go to the union, so we'll see what happens there. But overall, a 7-6 win for the Yankees, a big win for the Yankees, scuffling on their last homestand, 2-4 against the White Sox and the Red Sox. The offense wasn't really getting it done. Tonight they did, with 7 runs and the 11 hits, so that has to be big. But for the Mets, another tough loss in what's been a really tough stretch for them as of late, Maddie.
Yeah, the offense has just not been there for the Mets, and after we watched the series that they just had against the Pirates, and now what we see today, tomorrow when they go up against the Yankees again, I just think that it's going to be a really tough battle for them, as their hitters are just not getting there what they need to get from in the batter's box. Buck Showalter has made choices to hit Guillorme today versus a guy like Vientos, taking Guillorme, just who had hit well in the game in Buck's eyes, versus a younger talent. it really just depends on, you know, what the Mets are going to do going forward in the future. And I think what we've seen from this Mets team is the hitting has just been very inconsistent. We just haven't seen that team. And when you have pitching that has been poor as well, something has to click for them. And the hitting in Lindor's eyes, in Marte's eyes, and Nimmo's eyes just hasn't been there. And they hope to snap back into it soon.
Well, I think I can speak for you as well. It was a really exciting game here at Citi Field tonight between the Yankees and the Mets. They're going to have it again tomorrow night here back at Citi Field. Pitching matchup is Garrett Cole against Justin Verlander, two former teammates on the Astros going up against each other. Should be a lot of fun. But tonight, the Yankees get a 7-6 win over the Mets to kick off the Subway Series in 2023. That's Maddie Bimonte. I'm Brian Rabacs saying so long from Citi Field in our coverage of the Subway Series for WFUV Sports.